Welcome to the Angler Talk Podcast with Chris and Aaron. Brought to you by FishingMagicianTV.com.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's Chris and Aaron back with another episode of Angler Talk. How we doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I'm excited about this episode, bro. I mean, it's not every day you get the first, interview with the new record holder, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's definitely pretty cool. Speckled Trout in North Carolina, new state record, and his name is Todd Spangler, and can't wait to let the people hear what he has to say.
Yeah, you guys got to listen to this one, man. I mean, you want to talk about all the tricks and tactics and baits used. I mean, this guy shares it all. Real nice guy, real solid dude. So definitely give it a listen, guys.
Yeah, man. So before we get into that, how's it going over there in Florida? I heard you went out last night and caught yourself a dinosaur.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been trying to put together something, man. I mean, the wind's been blowing out of the north. It's been just real nasty out there on the river. So I've been trying to either land base it or go hide somewhere with the boat. And last night I decided to try the inlet, and man, there was no bait in sight, but big ends were biting, dude.
You were at our spot where we normally go to?
Oh yeah. I bounced all over that thing like a rabbit last night looking for these fish. As soon as I landed in that hole, man, they said hi for sure.
Did you get a weight or length or anything?
I mean, it's really hard in the middle of the night on the rocks. I luckily had a guy out there willing to hold the fish to take a picture, but I will tell you this: it had to be over 30. I mean, we're talking, I don't know, 26, almost 30 inches. So it wasn't one of these really massively long snooks, but it was one of the short-nosed or short-finned stubby snooks, and she was girthy, man. I mean, she had some weight on her, and that was 1 out of 3. So they were back to back last night for sure.
Yeah, I saw the video you sent me, and I was gonna try and edit it to put it into the show today, but I can't fault you, brother. It's really hard recording by yourself, and then recording by yourself at night is just like a disaster, man. But it was a very beautiful fish, and good job.
Thanks, man. I feel lucky and I feel blessed, man. When I get blessed with hooking something that big, it's almost like metal detecting for me. It's like you find that piece of gold that's been sitting there for got 30 years and no one's ever been able to find it, and then boom, you get lucky one night and there she is. So
I hear you, man. Well, right before we get into Todd's interview, I just want to let the audio listeners and the YouTube viewers to know, if you like what you're seeing, if you're listening on a podcast platform, please leave a review, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Maybe if you have some suggestions or you want to be on the show, let us know. If you're on YouTube, man, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. From what I see from my analytics, 24% of the viewers are not subscribed. It's something free you can do. If you end up not liking it later, you can always unsubscribe. But help us out, and it also helps us do more of these and get more people and find more people to get onto the show.
For sure, guys, because I mean it's only going to continue. We try to pride ourselves with being very consistent with this, and we're not going to fall off in a week. So even if you might get a couple episodes you don't like, best believe we're only trying to do better. We're only trying to get better hosts, get better guests, get better information to give to you guys, to get you guys out on the water to find the fish you're looking for.
Well, here's our interview with Todd Spangler out of North Carolina. Check it out. Hope you like it. So what's up, guys? Here we are with Todd Spangler. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man.
That's awesome to hear, man. We hear some awesome news out of North Carolina with you. After 61 years, the new state record Speckled Trout has been caught. So how do you feel about that?
It's been a wild ride thus far, anyway.
That's
good. I'm sure, man. So the 61-year record that held, what was it? 4 ounces shy of yours. Is that how close the record was?
That's correct. 4 ounces difference. That's it.
Goodness,
wow.
Man, that is something else, dude.
You shattered that record.
Yeah.
So Todd, tell me how it felt, man, when you hooked into that thing, dude. Give me a little I wish I was on your boat kind of story, dude, and had it firsthand kind of firsthand story. Give me how you felt.
Man, the whole time, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I don't know if you've read some of the articles or whatever, but I thought I had a striper the whole time.
No way.
I've caught some decent trout in the past, but I've never had a trout like that before. And when it took off, I said, man, I got a striper, whatever. And then we saw the flash the first time we saw the flash, because it come up and swirled a few times, but it never itself. We weren't able to see what it was.
Yeah.
And then first time we saw the flash, I was like, damn, that's a big ass striper right there. They just, it was me and my buddy were like, all right, that's a nice fish. Getting it, just in case. And then it come up to the surface and we saw it was a trout. And that's when the whole game changed right then.
Yeah.
Pandemonium, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what kind I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was just, after we saw what happened, saw the fish come up, I said, all right, get a net. And, he actually missed it on the first try.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm not trying to downplay him. I'm not trying to bust on him or whatever, but like he missed it and it went to the front of the boat around the trolling motor area. And I was like, whoa, look, we go. So I got it away from the motor and come back up to the front of the boat or, toward the side of the boat there. And I told him, I said, here come the head right here. I said, put the net down. I'm going to bring it right to the net. So it was crazy.
A big old donkey.
I know. And when they got into the boat, there was nothing I could do except just like, I got down on my knees in the bottom of the boat. It just was like, holy,
Right.
It, over and over again. I couldn't believe that I finally got to catch. That's one of my biggest things was like catch a 30-inch trout or, a plus-inch trout. And I always said to myself, like, I really want to break state record. Like, before I'm dead and gone, I really want to catch something. I don't care what state it is. I just want to catch a state record. And
right.
And then when it actually happened, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It was one of the best days of my life, I swear.
That's amazing,
awesome,
Todd. Yeah.
So how much that donkey weigh?
12 pounds, 8 ounces.
Wow, that's a big trout.
Yeah, that's a healthy trout, man. I've had them close to 30 inches in the past, but they've never weighed nothing close to that, dude. They've been like, or 30 inches. I've had them close to that, but they've been like 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds is you're pushing it, but goodness, Todd. I could just imagine the feeling on the boat that day. And I read the review or one of the articles that I think On the Water or In Fisherman did, and they said you guys had a scale on the boat and that you weren't too trusting in because it was like, one of them fish you knew in your heart, man. You guys had something, right?
Yeah, and that's it's all. Sometimes you just don't know. I don't put a lot of trust into it because I've weighed fish before on scales, and it's like, oh man, we got citation trout here. If you want to weigh it, we'll go weigh it. And then we get there, and it's like a half a pound or 3/4 pound less than what. So I'm a little skeptical, to say the least. But
yeah,
the scale that I had read 12.52 pounds, which 12.8. So when we showed up to the tackle shop, it was 12.52 pounds on their scale. I said, well, I guess I had to put a little more trust in the scale from now on. Right, dead on from what we read in the boat to what it was right then. So,
that's awesome, man.
So, what type of rod, reel, and line were you using on that catch?
I fished Daiwa reels. I had a Daiwa Procyon, I want a custom built rod. I build my own rods.
Oh, that's awesome.
And on that particular rod, I had 20-pound braid. Most of the time, I fish 15 or 20, depending on how, I like 7-foot rods mostly, but this one was 6'6". I like them because I work night shift, and I like the 6'6s are easier to get in my car, so I can stop along the way on the way home from work in the morning. So
Yeah.
I built a couple of them, and just so happened that was the one that I picked up for that lucky cast.
Goodness, man. Couldn't have been a better setup to grab that morning, man,
I know it.
So, Todd, what are the blanks that you're making your rods with, man? Are there anything special, or are you just finding them where you can find them and kind of making them your own, or?
No, I most of the blanks I'll either order from Mudhole.
Yeah.
And
Damn good blank.
I also order stuff from Rod Geeks.
Right.
Which is
I've heard of them.
They're pretty much it's St. Croix blanks pretty much is same factory, same materials, just they're the Rod Geeks are shipped, I guess, straight from Mexico from what I understand.
Okay.
And the St. Croix go up to Wisconsin for the St. Croix factory. So
yeah. So
most of my personal rods, I'll fish those CRB blanks from Mudhole.
Yeah, no, I enjoy them, man. And most of my like top notch kind of putting my daughter's hand, putting my own hand, my go-to rods are primarily St. Croix, dude. I mean, I know a lot of guys have, different kind of quirks about what rods they love to use, but the balance ratio to reel when it comes to St. Croix, man, I just feel it's superior to a lot. And the price range isn't crazy, especially if you're getting the blanks. The blanks are, more affordable than actually buying the complete setup from the factory. But
that's right.
I know you're going to get a crazy, you're going to be in demand to build these friggin' rods and sell these things now, Todd. So is that something that you're even thinking of doing, or you just want to keep it for personal use, or what do you want to do with them?
I mean, I build a few here and there for some people, but it's mostly like, for, hey, I need a Christmas gift for my buddy, or I need a Christmas gift for my dad or my grandpa or something like that. So, which, I mean, I would definitely be interested in trying to do something like that, but I just take it as it comes. I got some around here where I live that, we kind of repeat. Hey, I really like this rod. Can you build me 2 more of these or whatever? So nothing spectacular. I mean, I'm not getting ready to quit my job and start building rods full time. But
hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you hear it here. He's willing to build them. So if you got custom orders, just give him a call. Look him up.
Hey, if you want to catch a new state record, and order a rod from Todd.
That's it. Chris, you got anything for him?
But yeah, man, I mean, it's awesome feeling when you can do something, especially that it's a record that's been held for so long. I mean, 61 years, that's a lifetime, you know what I'm saying? For you to break that record, that's pretty awesome, man. And once again, congratulations on that.
I appreciate it. And that I don't think it at first really completely sunk in as to what happened. But I had a bunch of buddies call me like, you realize how many people fish for trout and how many people fished and how many hours were spent fishing for trout in the last 61 years. And you were the one that just broke the record, and it puts it in a whole different perspective after that.
Yeah,
Todd,
absolutely.
Listen, Todd, I can't stress enough, man. I'm a trout guy, right? I grew up in New Jersey where weak fish were like so plentiful growing up as a kid. And then, I mean, early 2000s, they disappeared. It was like a unicorn to find one of these things, right? So when I moved down to Florida and I actually started catching these speckled trout, man. And I was like back catching that unicorn again. You know, like it hit home for me. It was a real special species to catch. And I'm telling you, dude, I'm not even bragging. I have a couple 30s, dude, but nothing comes close to catching a friggin' state record, dude. And it's been a dream of a lot of fishermen. And I mean, I'm blown away to be, you know, having this interview with you, dude, because, you know, it's a once in a lifetime thing. Hopefully it's not once in a lifetime for you. Hopefully it's a multiple thing you can make happen, you know, but, the feeling of a state record, I gotta ask, because I know there's a lot of fishermen listening, and I know they want to know: was it artificial, live bait? Like, give me the rundown if you can, if it's not breaking the bank on you.
It was Z-Man Scented Jerk Shad.
Whoo! One of my favorites, man.
Yeah,
nice. That's a good bait.
Hey, the dark and stormy color around my area.
Yeah.
Dark and stormy has been top notch around my area. This time
was
between the dark and stormy, and I tell you another one that I really enjoy fishing this time of year anyway is the Atomic Sunrise. Those two colors right there are phenomenal right now around. If you like to fish that way, a lot of guys around here they'll fish the mirror lures, the 17s and the 18s.
Yeah. But
I found luck with soft plastics more than the mirror lures. But it is, I mean, I still fish mirror lures every now and again, but
yeah,
I'm a soft plastic guy. I like soft plastics better than the hard plastics.
Todd, I got one question for you, and then if Aaron has anything else, I'll let him run away with it. But I just want to know one thing.
Okay.
How did it taste?
we haven't ate it yet.
You haven't ate it yet? Oh man, I know it's coming.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what when I filleted that thing, I said, "You have got it. Looked like salmon steak." I'm telling you.
Awesome.
Which, you know, a lot of people don't know this either. You know, I caught some flack about, you know, well, you shouldn't have killed this fish and you could have released it, this and that. And I tried. When I went to the weigh station, I had it in water in my cooler to get to the bait tackle shop. And I spent almost 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours probably, at the tackle shop waiting for, which, you know, Pamlico County, we out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's the sign when you pull into Pamlico County says where the land meets the sky. And we kind of, or land meets the water. And it's like 2.5 hours in a tackle shop. That's you can't keep a fish alive that long.
No.
And I mean, I had all intentions of releasing that fish.
Yeah. And no, that's commendable.
So it's.
But in my opinion, you did absolutely nothing wrong. From what we know, it's obviously illegal fish to harvest. So in my opinion, you did nothing wrong. Would it have been cool to let it go? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's going to feed a family, and you did nothing wrong. You follow the regulations, and hey, congrats, brother.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So did you find it, Todd? When you were filleting her, I gotta ask, did you find anything in her belly, man, on what she was eating?
You know, I was super excited to find out what it was eating.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a drop of nothing in there.
It was empty, of course. I know it.
And I said, well, I guess that's why I went after that little girl.
It was why she bit your lure. She was hungry.
That's awesome. Man. Todd, listen, I fish Z-Man a lot, man. I really do. The Elastec kind of technology that they have to where your baits aren't breaking up all the time. I love it, dude. And I tell you, there's another company. We just did an interview with them. It's 7 Baits, right? He literally has the same carbon copy as Z-Man does, and it's got the Elastec technology in it, dude. So I mean, being a soft plastic lover, bro, I'm telling you got to look into this guy. I got his contact information. It's all over our page, dude. We'll get you in contact if you want to talk to him. But yeah. I haven't found anybody else that matches that kind of like stability and long-lasting technology as Z-Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that's why you throw them.
Yeah, Stain makes a hell of a bait. It's nice and stinky, just how I like it. And his plastic is very, very durable and it'll last you a long time.
Yeah. That's the, I guess that's one of the things that drew me to the Z-Man baits was that, you know, you can go out there and catch 15 or 20 fish and your bait's still on the hook and it's intact, it's fully intact, and you don't have to keep on worrying about switching everything out because you lost the tail or it got bit in half, whatever.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things that drew me to the Z-Man start with.
And the Z-Man name is proven. It's been great over the years. It hasn't got any worse, and it's only getting better. So I can't say nothing wrong about Z-Max.
Nope.
Yeah, Todd. So when you throw the soft plastics, but are you throwing them on a like what most New Jersey anglers would consider like a worm hook? Are you throwing them on a jig head? Are you throwing them on like a weighted belly hook? Like how you throwing the plastics?
Most of the time, I'm either using those eye strike jig heads that the Z-Mans come out with, like the trout eyes and the what's the other one they have? The I guess the redfish eye or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
And but for me with the jerk shads, almost 100% of the time I throw them on those headlocks jigs.
The chin locks, is that what you're talking about?
No, the headlocks, the ones that's got the lead barbs on the shaft of the.
Yep.
That's what I caught that one on.
Oh man.
Was headlock.
Hey guys, you're hearing it here first. All the secrets you need to know to catch a state record. All right.
That's it.
Oh man. But Todd.
That's one of those things. See, my buddy that was with me that day, he was throwing one of those eye strike jig heads. We were using some of the same baits at the same time. Yeah. And he caught fish because after we got done at the bait tackle shop, man, he went back out on the water and he started catching some fish too. That was the first fish of the day. We figured out what was going on with it, and we hauled to the boat ramp and went to weigh it and all. And so we were like, man, we didn't even fish it. I mean, we fished for an hour before we had the first bite, and that was the first bite. And then we were gone for 3 hours, and so we come back, and he started catching some fish. But it's funny because I throw that headlocks that don't have any eyes. He was throwing the eye strike with one of his eyes got knocked off, and he stopped catching fish. So
no way.
He switched back to another jig head that had both eyes on it and went right back to catching fish again. So I don't know if you throw one without any eyes, that's good. But if you throw one with eyes and one of them knocked off, I don't know.
Right.
You got the one-eyed pirate down there.
That was a big deal because he put one with both eyes back on it and went back to catch it.
And listen, Chris, this is what I talk about, man. When I talk about, I try to figure out the science behind what's going on in the water. That's a little window into my head. When I'm on the boat by myself, I'm like, there's no friggin' fish biting, dude. What's going on? There's a cut down the center of one of these jig heads eyeballs, dude. I'm done. I switch it up, and you catch a fish, and you think, oh my goodness, that's it. You got the trigger. You figured it out, dude. Like it's never changed, you know.
That's a little much to me, but
I hear you. But that's where I'm at, dude. You know, that's where I'm at. And this man's proven it with a state record. So I mean, hell.
Hey, my philosophy is if they're not biting artificial, I'm just gonna throw on some live bait. That's my philosophy. Like, you know, in my opinion, fish ain't stupid. They got brains.
That's right.
You know,
when the shrimp show up around here, I love some live bait.
Yeah.
In summertime, and into the fall, but this time of year, pretty much straight up artificial hands, mirror lures, whatever. So
catch them like a man.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, man. Well, Todd, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, man. We're running out of time, but I truly appreciate it. And once again, congratulations on basically a fish of a lifetime, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate y'all having me on, and I hope y'all.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Buddy.
Tight lines.
All right.
You can tell he was like, kind of didn't know what to say, but he knew, you can tell he was really happy to catch that fish, and I can understand the excitement of catching a state record, especially one that hasn't been broken in 61 years. That's a big.
Yeah, man. I mean, God, Chris. I mean, it's one of them things where, like, everybody wants to say, oh, you got lucky, but the reality of the situation is this man fishes every chance he can. I mean, he gets done work, he's got a rod in the car. He only builds certain size rods because they fit in the car, and he could take them to work with him. Like, guys like that, it's almost like, you got to get off the couch to catch fish. And this guy literally pays attention to every detail that he can to try and, make it happen for the little bit of time that he is actually out there. And he did. I mean, it paid off. The guy knows his baits. The guy knows his jigs. The guy knows his rods. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, it happened to a really nice guy, and I'm happy for him.
Absolutely, man. So we also had another special guest on the show this week. His name is Jayden Bruland. He grew up in Marathon, Florida, and we're gonna sit down and talk to him and find out what it's like growing up a conch.
Yeah, local conch. And you know what? I tell you this, I'm probably going to be surprised and find some things out about being a conch that I did not know. So you guys stay tuned for this episode. I'm sure it's going to be a banger.
All right, guys, here we go. Let's sit down with Jay. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here with Jayden Bruland over here from Marathon, Florida. What's going on, bud?
How are you, man? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm great, man. How's it going in the Florida Keys?
It's pretty good. We got some wind this week. We had a really, really windy week last week, and we got a nice calm day this Saturday, and then picked right back up today. So we're still on that grind, still going out.
Yeah, that's winter in the Keys for you. It's always blowing 30.
Yeah, crazy.
So you're relatively young. How did you get into the industry? How'd you get started?
Well, I'd say I'm about a fourth generation. I grew up commercial fishing, lobster, stone crab. I yellowtailed here and there, mahi fished, did a whole bunch of stuff, and it's in my blood. It's pretty much like the only thing you could say I know how to do.
I hear you, man. And I know that you're Captain Greg's mate. We had a couple weeks ago on the show. And what's it like working for Greg?
Man, for Greg, it's always a fun day, Me and him both, we keep each other entertained, keep each other laughing, even when fishing slow, we're sitting there talking, just living the dream.
I hear you, man. That's that charter life for you.
Yeah, sounds like you guys have a good relationship, man. I mean, I wouldn't even call you a mate, dude. I mean, from what Greg was talking about, you're almost a predecessor, dude. Like, after Greg gets his new boat on the water, or you obtain your captain's license, you're gonna be the next in line to be a captain in one of his fleets, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I had the privilege of having Jay as a mate on my first trip out there in the Keys, and this kid's knowledge is through the roof. This kid closed his eyes and told me, "Hey, you got a sandbar at 3:00." And I looked over. I'm like, "How did you know that?"
Yeah, Chris was telling me, Jay, when we were talking about taking a trip to the Keys, he's like, "I got this one guy," and he was talking about you. He's like, "I got this one guy, dude, that can put us on the fish. I'm telling you, nobody knows the area better than this guy Jay does." And I could see that, dude. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I grew up around here,
Yeah.
I did a lot of what we call bully netting down here, where we catch lobster off the flats and off the shoreline in the shallow water when they come out at night and they start walking. And basically, when you do that, you're running around at night. And I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. So I basically got all mapped out in my head where
every hole is, right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
On this town with my eyes closed.
No, it's amazing, man. It really is. So give a little backstory, man, about when you got your first boat, or when you actually got off land onto water in your own boat. Maybe like when you captained the first time yourself, or give the listeners a little bit of backstory here.
Man, I'll tell you what. Probably my first boat was a Littlefoot Carolina skiff. but I won at a 15 horsepower on it.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
That's where it all began. There were some crazy and scary times,
yeah.
But on that boat, I really couldn't get out far. Everything was inshore and close. I wasn't really allowed to go out far. But in close, I always had something in mind. Would always pull something out my sleeve. Never come home empty. At least have at least 5 fish.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
then after that, I ended up getting a 15-foot Boston whaler, and that was the king in my saddle, I guess you could say. I took that boat out to the islands off of Big Pine, bully netted around there. That's when I really started learning the bottom and everything, and where all the flats are and all that. I mean, down here you can't just make a straight run. There's going to be flats popping up on you anywhere, especially in the bay. But when it comes to the ocean just drops off down deep, so you don't really have to worry about flats or nothing.
How close is your closest drop off to you guys out there?
What do you mean by drop off?
So like substantial amount of water. Like I know up north to run to what we consider the canyon is, 60 miles some spots, man. To get to a large drop off or significant drop off, how far are you guys running?
Yeah, so out in the Atlantic, which we call our ocean side, out there we have our reef, which is probably about 8 miles out, straight out from land.
Okay.
And the reef starts at about like 20, 25 feet. You start getting your patch reefs, then you get into the main reef. And our reefs are like the third largest reef in the world. So it runs down from like Key Largo all the way down, I think past Key West. I'm not completely 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
But once you hit the reef slowly starts dropping. And out there, it just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. Probably about 10 miles is where you get to about like 100, probably like 100, 140 feet or something like that, straight out.
Yeah, that's good water.
Here in the Gulf of Mexico, you can kind of average, think about it in your head, probably average about a foot every mile you go out. So the bay is often pretty shallow.
Yeah.
We used to come up fish for like crab and stuff, like 60 miles out. They'd only be like 70, 80 feet,
Goodness, man. I hear that. There's a local that used to live over on the Gulf side. He's down the street from me. He always tells me about summer months on the Gulf side is like sitting in a swimming pool. Like it gets so hot because it's so shallow, and he goes, you're always looking for them deeper drop offs to find some fish. But I'm getting more and more excited as we talk, Chris. I'm telling you, man. I might gas up and head this man's direction, to be honest.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And I think there's no better person. He actually was born and raised there. So what's it like growing up to be a conch?
Well, I guess you could say growing up a conch. As a local, there's not much for you to do down here, especially when you're young, except go out on the boat. That's where I mainly got most of my experience from, because there's nothing else to do. If I wanted to get out of the house, the boat was the option. Everything else, I already done it. I went to Key West, played tourist. I don't really enjoy it as much anymore, because it's just something I guess you could say I take advantage of it. I see it all the time,
Yeah.
It's like people tell sunsets, wow, it's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, I seen that yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
But, basically down here, when I went to school, it was a real small group of kids. It was only about, I think, 500 people in my class, if that. But, everybody basically knows everybody. So it's a small town. Word gets around quick, but, you just, as long as you stay level-headed, keep your nose on the grindstone, keep on the right road, you're good, man.
That's good.
But,
now I know you're a full-time mate and that's what you do for a living, but what is your favorite type of fishing? Like for instance, I know that you love free diving, and a little while ago you showed me the spear gun right over there on your right side. Like what is your favorite type of fishing to do for yourself?
I'd say my favorite type of fishing would be like the Rex or Mahi or tuna fishing, something offshore. Just because I like to get out in the way, get away from all the other boats, and kind of do your own thing. Look for the birds. Find those weed lines, find those mahis, throw a couple lines out when things are slow, and just throw something up. Or out on the Rex. My favorite is just listening to that drag drop as we're dropping on like 200-foot wreck.
I hear that.
It's like satisfying to me. And then once you hook up, it's like straight prime time. I just zone in, and it's that fish is mine. My goal is to catch that regardless of what I have to do,
I hear you.
I fought fish around the boat at the wrecks. I've ran 2 circles around the boat. I mean, I'll do whatever it takes.
I hear you, man. And I know that you're a free diver. So, like, what's the deepest dive you've ever done? No scuba tank.
I don't really use scuba tank. I free dive. My deepest dive would be about 60 feet. I haven't really done it in a while, though, to be honest, because I've been pretty busy working, just trying to keep fishing, dial in on everything. But eventually, hopefully this summer, I'll get some time off and I'll get to use the guns. Hopefully that's down.
You ever bring them on your charters, bud, and ever see any, like, you can't resist, you got a big bull swimming around the boat or something, and you got a chum bag out and you just got to jump in and make it happen?
I've thought about it, but I haven't brought it yet. I've been thinking about it really hard, but this summer we're not leaving the dock without a gun on the boat.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the boat so many times when there's a bull around in the school and he just won't eat, or a big cow, and it's like heartbreaking just to watch him swim away. But he ain't gonna swim away with me there.
Yeah, that's the Chris. That's the whole reason I got into spearfishing, was because we used to go offshore in New Jersey, and it was 15, 20-mile ride in a 20-foot boat, dude, just getting beat up. So we finally get out there and we're on some lobster pots, and you maybe catch one little chicken mahi, or something small, something exotic that you never really seen before. But then you got these bulls, or even tuna. You got them swimming around in the friggin' chum slick around the boat, and they won't take nothing you throw at them. So I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm going to research everything I got to poke this thing in the face. And I did. I got myself one of these little air compressed, spear guns. And then I upgraded to the double band, and oh my God, there's been countless times, man, jumping off and getting swept away. And yeah, but, there's no better feeling than to be able to make something happen when it doesn't want to bite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Part of the reason I got into it heavy when I was young was I was very impatient.
Yeah.
I couldn't hold it reel for very long. It was like, man, this fish isn't biting. Like, I don't even want to hold this. I put it in the rod holder and I look up and I see the bite and I miss it and I'm like, God,
Right.
So then I got the impatient part, and then when I went and got a gun, it was just like, I see that big fish, I know he's dead right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Just dive down, take your time, and line up your shot and fire away.
Chris, if I could, man, can you give us a little backstory on what it actually takes to become a conch? Am I saying it right, conch?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have to go through, bro? Because I know I did a little bit of research, but I know there's some stuff you got to go through to become a certified conch where you're at. So give the listeners a little insight.
So honestly, the only way to become a real true conch is to be born in Key West. Key West, the Keys, anywhere along the Keys, anywhere from Key Largo down to Key West. If you're like, say you were born on an 18-mile stretch on the way to Key Largo, that don't count. You have to be born in the hospital here in the Keys.
Okay.
But that's the only way you can get it. So
yeah.
Unless you can take back time and go back and rebirth and tell your parents to come down here. Be a conch.
So now, is there like a ceremony? Like, you guys legitimately have a ceremony for this, or is it something where, like, kneel before me, my mighty conch kind of deal, and you get, like, you know what I'm saying, knighted kind of deal?
To
be honest,
weird, man.
down here, to be honest, man, like, my captain, when I first started working with Greg, he was always like, man, you're a conch, you got to boost that up. And to be honest with you, majority of real conchs don't even notice the other conchs. Like, we go about our business. We don't really label each other by it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when we look at it from our standpoint as locals living here, we're just like, oh yeah, that's just another one of my friends. We don't really label each other at all.
And it's pretty cool to be able to be born and raised in basically paradise
on the island.
Yeah, you're an island boy for real.
Island boy.
Yeah. What you call it? But I don't know where Aaron was going with that ritual. I mean, it kind of sounded like some satanic type stuff.
I guess the History Channel was just dead wrong on the conch stuff, man. Because they were knighting people. I mean, had dudes on one knee getting, with this old man had a conch stick with a conch horn on it, and I mean, it was a whole nother level. Yeah.
No crap. I don't know where the hell that just went, but that was funny. Oh man, but what I like about Jay is he does anything it takes to get the job done. I mean, my first week down there, me and Greg were hanging out after all the charter days, and he had a couple lobster trips, and the people, these are tourist people, and some of them have never even seen the ocean in their life, and they want to do a lobster trip, and they just can't get there, and just Jay will run down there. I don't know, what, 10, 15, 20 feet, and just snatch up 5, 6, 7 lobsters at a time.
And I'll tell you one crazy story, man. I had this one lady, and she was a heavy set lady, and she tells me, she goes, I don't know if I can get down there. And I said, well, your goal is to catch a lobster today, right? And she goes, yeah. I said, well, my goal is I'm here to make you succeed. I said, so we're gonna get a lobster. And I'll tell you what, I had to grab her arm, jerk her down, grab the bottom, and then jerk her down a little more. And she finally got that lobster. But part of the thing is, I like making memories, making people happy, giving them something
awesome
to always remember,
Yeah,
That's
that makes
awesome,
a good
man.
captain, man, for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait till the day you get your captain's license. I'm on the first flight to Marathon. I'm going down there. We're gonna pass Greg on a boat. We're gonna start talking smack to him. We're gonna catch 800,000 fish.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Chris, for real, man. Like, to know that you were born and raised there, man, and you know this place like the back of your hand. I could say the same, and so could Chris for like New Jersey. So I know how the feeling is of like having a fishery that good in your backyard and knowing like every friggin' route of the migration of the species you're hunting, dude. So I'm dying. I'm itching. I really am, man. There's gonna come a time you're gonna get a call from your boy, and I'm on the way.
For sure. I'll be waiting.
You definitely gotta hook this man up, man. What's the sad part, Jay? This man has never tried key lime pie.
No way.
No,
He's never tried key lime pie.
That's
that's why you try and lean on Chris when he's in the Keys to bring you some key lime pie. You know what I'm saying? The man says, yeah, I got you. Shows up at your house and he's like, hey, what are you having for dinner?
Well, see what had happened was,
yeah, there you go.
When I left early in the morning because it was a 6-hour drive back, and
Oh, you're breaking up.
nothing in the Keys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, nothing in the Keys, opens before 8 o'clock, and it's kind of hard to get some key lime pie at that time in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But I do have a question about the Keys because I've seen and heard just some crazy stuff in those waters, man. What is the craziest thing that you found that wasn't fishing or anything like that?
Craziest thing that I found. I don't know, man. I've seen some Cuban rafts. I've seen one square grouper in my lifetime, but it was one of those things you just kind of turn your head to look the other way. I don't want to be no part of it. So,
yeah.
But I've seen many Cuban rafts out there. We've pulled up to a couple. You can't take them or help them, but you can give them water. So we'll give them like water and food. Those people are out there for days, trying to make it over here.
Yeah.
Cuba's not the best place to be at this moment, But we'll give them some chips, some water, whatever we got that we can give them, and then wish them luck on their journey, and just hopefully someone else don't find them and report them and turn them in. Hopefully they make it here,
Right,
yeah,
right.
There's always somebody watching over there.
Yeah.
So
they had the airplane out not too long ago. The big Coast Guard airplane flying all over. The big Coast Guard cutter was out there all over the place. In fact, quite a few coming through here lately.
Man. So when I was down there's a fish that we tried to catch together, me and you you told me the backstory on the Barracuda on the little mangrove patch over there. Has anybody caught him yet?
I'm not sure. I know we hooked into him like 3 times, but we never landed him because he's huge. I think that's the biggest barracuda I've ever seen. He's every bit of 4 feet at least.
Oh goodness.
He's like almost our body.
Yeah, we were using wire, and he just kept popping us off, man. That fish is smart, and he's there to stay. And it's a goal for anybody to be down there and want to catch him.
He kept popping through the wire on you guys.
Yeah.
And we were using like 30-pound test, and I do a haywire twist and a uni over the wire. I don't use a barrel swivel or any of that. I try to limit as much hardware as I can.
Yeah.
And make everything as simple as I can. And that Barracuda just kept breaking it off. He broke it off twice, and then he'd come up and eat half the bait and just was smart, man. He never ate the hook. Leave the
Yeah,
head for it.
I was in Daytona when I was young. I must have been 12 or 13 years old, and I remember going out on a fishing pier with my mom, and all the fishermen that are up there, like the old salts that are there every freaking day, are like, "Listen, kid, don't drop your bait straight down. You know, you don't want none of that." And I'm like, "Yeah, right. I want every bit of that, dude." It was like these 4 foot, barracudas in a school of 10 or 15 swimming around the pilings, dude. And I'm like, "Oh man, all I can think about is what the fisherman said," and I'm like, dude, I want one of these so bad, bro. So it's my last day there, I drop a dead bait straight down on top of one of these things. Hook up. He ran through everybody's lines and tangled everybody up on that pier. Everybody hated me, dude. I never got him. Broke me off, but it pissed off everybody on the pier.
Oh yeah.
But I've never seen that big.
Yeah, when they fight too. They don't really. It takes them a minute to give up. They'll take off, give it about like maybe three runs. They'll zing about 3 times, and then after that, they'll kind of tire out on you and kind of fight you a little bit, but nothing crazy, on the way back in. But once you initially tire them out, then you got them. You're set.
Yeah, that was the biggest I've ever seen.
To the boat. Once they throw it to the boat will spook them. That's when they'll really try to take off.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm sorry to the listeners because I'm not really sure what that background noise is. I can hear crazy static in my headphones right now, but hopefully that goes away real soon. All right, so like we touched on before, you said your favorite species of fish to catch are the offshore bite. But what is your personal best mahi?
My personal best, nothing big. I've had a lot of handoffs, but my personal is probably like a 35-pound bull. But
nice.
One of those days I'm gonna get out there, just a fun trip for the boys, and I'm gonna get me a big one. My goal, I want a 60-pounder. I'm fighting for him. I'm looking for him.
Yeah, you and me both, man. So that trip with the boys is right here.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm really hoping to get out there this summer. I want to get out there like June, July, and I'm hoping we can set up a trip where it's the 3 of us along with Greg and Captain Jay as well, and see if we get out there and have some fun with the boys and just shoot the breeze, man.
Yes, sir.
So listen, if there was one place, I know you're in Paradise, man. I don't know how much you've traveled or where you've been, but if there was one place outside of the Keys that you would want to go and target a species, where would that be, and what species would that be, bud?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I got a long bucket list.
Yeah, give me one of them.
I think my first place I want to start is I want to go to Costa Rica, and I want to get a wall hanger. I want a rooster fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's gonna be the first one.
Yeah,
nice.
me too, buddy. For real, the rooster, that's been something I've seen, like, the Spanish fly. I don't know if you're familiar with this. You familiar with the Spanish fly?
I've seen a few episodes.
Yeah, so dude used to hook into these big old roosters, man, using fly gear. And it was just, looking at that as a kid, man, I'm like, oh, God, I got to get myself one of these things. But
yeah,
I understand,
man.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap this up, man. Jay, thank you so much for coming on, brother. We enjoy having you on, and good luck out there in the Keys, and I hope you get your captain's license real soon, man.
Ditto, buddy.
So,
for sure, guys.
For being here.
All right, one more time. This is Jayden Bruland from Manic Sport Fishing, and thanks for coming on, bud.
Add me on IG, Jayden_Bruland_free_dive.
Yeah, we're gonna put a link to his Instagram in the description below. And take care, bud.
All right, man.
Well, man, that was a great couple of interviews with some great people, man. And I hope the people at home enjoyed it. And if you got any suggestions, or if you are a captain, a mate, tackle manufacturer, or just a fisherman, you want to come on here and shoot the breeze, just contact us, man. Send us an email. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We bring out a new episode every Tuesday. Also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, every platform you can imagine that we're on. just leave a review, whether if it's good or bad. It helps us out, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, and I'm telling you guys that, like I said in the previous episode, we're only trying to get better here. So, I mean, every interview we do, we try to do our research and we try to find these guys that are, the guy that you wish you had in your contact list when you were heading down to the Keys, and that's what Jay was, man. I mean, Jay is one of them guys to where I can't wait to know the fact that I got him in my arsenal now when I head down to the Keys. What would you guys want more? A local guy, that could put you on the fish, or some guy that just takes your money and gets you out on a boat. And
he's out there.
He's
out there every day, and I gotta be honest, man. I don't care where I am in the world. I could be in Australia, I could be in Alaska, I could be in Florida. If I have to pick a mate, I think that kid is top shelf. This kid is great. He knows what he knows what he's doing, especially in that area. He knows that area like the back of his hand. The kid is just phenomenal, and he's in his very early 20s.
Yeah. So you know what says it to me, man, is when you grow up catching bait, when you grow up catching lobster, and you grow up like doing what the locals have done for centuries now, man, it only makes you a better fisherman. I feel like it's almost a common practice when you can understand how to catch bait. You usually can understand what's trying to catch that bait and how to catch that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you start small and you learn with the bait migrations and the bait patterns, and then I mean, it just comes natural to you after that, dude. And this guy's got it in his bag.
Absolutely. Well, honestly, brother, we're running out of time, so we got to wrap this up. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. He's Aaron. I'm Chris, and we're out. Tight lines.
See you guys.